In this video, we'll cover the information needed and take you through the process of creating an employer account on the Apprenticeship Service. All employers need to be registered on the Apprenticeship Service to take on an apprentice and to access apprenticeship funding in England. To access the Apprenticeship Service, you need a gov.uk1 login account. If you don't have one already, you'll need to create one. You'll need a valid email address and a mobile phone number. Once you've created your gov.uk1 login, there are then 5 steps to creating your employer account on the Apprenticeship Service. Firstly, you need to add in your details. Then, you'll need to add in your organisation and PAYE scheme. Next, you need to set your account name. Then you go on to accept the employer agreement. And finally, you have the optional step of adding the details of a training provider to your account. Creating an employer account starts from the sign in to your Apprenticeship Service account screen on gov.uk. Select Sign in to create an account. You'll need to set up a gov.uk1 login account to register for an employer account on the Apprenticeship Service. If you already have a gov.uk1 login account, then sign in from this screen. Otherwise, select Create a gov.uk1 login. Enter your email address on this screen. You should use a company one or one that you use for work. Select Continue when you're done. You will receive a 6-digit security code to the email address that you've provided. Enter this code here and then select Continue. You should then create a password as instructed, ensuring that both entries of your password match. When you're done, select Continue. You have 2 options for added security when accessing your gov.uk1 login account. You can choose to receive a text message with a security code or use an authenticator app on your mobile phone, tablet or computer. In this video, we'll demonstrate the text message option. Select Text Message and then Continue. Enter your phone number on the screen and select Continue. You'll receive a text message to the number that you've provided containing a temporary security code. Enter the security code on this screen and select Continue. You've now created your gov.uk1 login account. You can then select Continue to begin setting up your employer account. You'll be asked to add and confirm your name to begin setting up your account, and then you'll need to press Continue. You will then be asked to confirm these details. If you're satisfied, press Continue. You will now see this page confirming that your details have been added. You now need to press Continue to go to the task list. As you can see, you've now completed the first of 5 registration steps. Next, you'll need to add your organisation and PAYE scheme. Select Add a PAYE scheme. You'll be asked how much your organisational annual pay bill is, as this may affect how you add your PAYE scheme to your account. You have 3 options here: over £3 million, close to £3 million, and less than £3 million. If you're selecting either options 1 or 2, you should add your PAYE scheme using your Government Gateway login. This is typically for employers that pay the apprenticeship levy or who may soon pay the apprenticeship levy. It is important to note that if you add your PAYE scheme via the Government Gateway, you'll be able to add multiple PAYE schemes to your employer account. Option 3 is less than £3 million. This is typically for employers that do not pay the apprenticeship levy. If this is your organisation, you can use either the Government Gateway option or the Account Office Reference Number option to add in your details. You can find your Accounts Office Reference Number at the top of all paperwork you receive from HMRC. If you add your PAYE scheme using this route, you will not be able to add multiple PAYE schemes to your employer account. Okay, let's have a look at the over £3 million option. Click Continue. Here, you'll be informed that by continuing, you'll be taken directly to the HMRC system to enter your credentials, as these are not stored on the Apprenticeship Service. Press Continue to progress to the Government Gateway sign-in. On the Government Gateway login screen, enter the details for your organisation. Please note the Government Gateway details should be organisational level, not individual or agency level. When you've entered the correct details, press Sign In. Pressing Sign In will bring you back to the registration journey and you'll pull through your organisation and PAYE details. You will arrive back on the Check Your Details screen and you'll need to check your organisation name, address and PAYE reference. When you're satisfied, select Yes, this is my organisation and press Continue. You'll then arrive on a confirmation screen informing you that you've added your organisation and PAYE scheme. Press Continue to move to the next step. But first, let's go back and see the journey for employers with an annual pay bill of less than £3 million. If you have an annual pay bill of less than £3 million, you can choose either the Government Gateway or the Account Office Reference Number options. It's usually easier to use the Account Office Reference Number option, so we'll look at that. Select the Use Account Office Reference and Employer PAYE reference option and press Continue. You'll need to type each reference into the right field on this screen. Adding your PAYE scheme in this way will confirm that you do not pay the apprenticeship levy. But don't worry, you can change your PAYE scheme if you become a levy-paying employer in the future. Press Continue when you've added the references in the correct fields. You will arrive back on the Check Your Details screen and you'll need to check your organisation name, address and PAYE reference. When you're satisfied, select Yes, this is my organisation and press Continue. You'll then arrive on a confirmation screen informing you that you've added your organisation and PAYE scheme. Press Continue to move to the next step. You'll now see that the first 2 tasks of 5 are complete. Next, select number 3. Set your account name to continue. On this page, you can choose to confirm that you're happy to keep your organisation legal entity name as the employer account name. However, if your organisation is more commonly known by a different name, you can choose to change your employer account name to reflect this. This can make it easier for your organisation to be found by training providers who you plan to work with. Select whichever option applies to you. If you want to change your employer account name, enter the new details in the box. When you're satisfied, select Continue. If you change your account name, you'll be asked to confirm your new account name on the next screen by clicking Continue. You will then arrive on a confirmation screen informing you that you've confirmed your account name. Press Continue to move to the next step. You will once again return to the task list page where you will see that tasks 1 to 3 are now complete. To continue, select Task 4, your employer agreement. You will then arrive on the About Your Agreement screen, which briefly explains what the employer agreement is. It may be the case that the individual registering the account does not have the authority to accept the agreement on behalf of your organisation. But this is not a problem, and you should press Continue anyway. The next page contains the full legal agreement between the Department for Education and your organisation. There is a useful summary at the top of the screen to help you understand the key points that you're agreeing to. On the left, there's a series of links that you can follow to specific parts of the agreement without leaving the page. And at the bottom of the screen, you have the option to download a copy of the agreement if you wish. Finally, you can accept the agreement or skip it for now. You may need to skip it if you do not have the authority to accept the agreement on behalf of your organisation. However, if you choose to skip the accepting the agreement for now, functionality within your account will be limited and the apprenticeship funds cannot be accessed. Select Yes, I accept the agreement, or Not Yet, and press Continue. If you accept the agreement, you will now arrive on the confirmation page. Select Continue to move to the next step. You will once again arrive on the task list page where you can see that tasks 1 to 4 are now complete. For task 5, add a training provider, select Training Provider to continue. On this page, you'll be asked whether or not you want to add a training provider to your account. If you've already spoken to a training provider and agreed to work with them, you can add them to your account now. If you've not agreed to work with a training provider yet, or would simply rather not do this now, you can skip this step and access your account immediately. Select Yes, I'll add a training provider now if you wish to do so, and select Continue. On the next screen, select Add a training provider to continue. You can search for your training provider by entering their name or UK Provider Reference Number, or UKPRN, in the search field. If you can't find your training provider by name, you should ask your training provider to share their UKPRN and search using this instead. When you've selected the correct training provider, press Continue. You'll be asked to confirm that you want to add this training provider on the next screen. Select Yes if you're satisfied and press Continue. You'll then arrive on the screen confirming that you've successfully added your training provider. Select Continue to set permissions to move to the next step. You can now choose to give your training provider permissions to perform tasks on your behalf. Giving providers these permissions enables them to better support you by adding apprentice details, reserving funds, and recruiting apprentices. If you choose to allow training providers to add apprentice records, they can reserve funding for an apprenticeship and add in the details of the apprentice. If you choose to allow training providers to recruit apprentices, they can create and manage apprenticeship adverts and receive and manage applications. You will need to approve any decisions that training providers make on your behalf, and giving them permissions does not give them access to your employer account. Once you've selected the permissions that you want to allow training providers to have, select Continue. You'll then be asked to confirm the permissions that you have given your training provider. Select Confirm if you're satisfied. Next, you will arrive at a screen confirming that you've added training provider permissions. Select Continue. You've now finished creating your employer account and you'll see this confirmation page. It is important to note that the user registering the account has the ability to add other users from your organisation and decide their level of access, add additional PAYE schemes, and add additional connected companies to the account as necessary. We strongly recommend that you add more than one user to the account if possible. So that's the end of the process. Once you're ready, you can go to the home screen. So now we've been through the process of how to create an employer account. Training providers can support you to register for your Apprenticeship Service account by sending you an invitation email outlining the information you'll need to begin and with a direct link to the employer registration page. To summarise, there are 5 steps you need to complete to create your Apprenticeship Service account: adding your user details, adding your organisation and PAYE scheme, setting your account name, accepting your employer agreement, and adding a training provider to your account. If you'd like to know more, why not take a quick look at our other support videos covering the different functions of the Apprenticeship Service. We hope you found this video useful, and as always, thanks for watching.